Hi everyone, this is Hiba from My Little Journal, and today I'm so excited to be working in my 2023 October daily. So before I start, I wanted to mention a few things. I do have a prompt list. This prompt list I was able to create with my friend Elizabeth. We just put a few prompts together that we thought worked well for us. If you're interested in that prompt list, I do have it on my Pinterest, and I will link that in the description box for you. I also have a setup video that I posted recently and shared these templates that I created for myself. A lot of people were interested in these templates, so I posted them on my Etsy shop, so you can grab those if you need them. I just created them because I wanted something simple and easy to put together for my October daily. Now let's move on. I'm going to be working on prompt number 1 and 2. And before I start that, I wanted to create a fun title page. And so what I did was I created my own title. So the Boo acrylic piece, I created it on my Glowforge, which I'm so loving right now. It's fun to create your own titles yourself on wood veneer and acrylic. Thought it was cute, so I just added it to that beautiful paper from an old Studio Calico collection. Now I'm moving on to my first prompt, and my first prompt is fall, so I have these fallish photos. It's just a bunch of pumpkins that I took pictures of recently, and I filled out my 3 boxes. They are 2x2s, and I'm going to be using this number stamp to document each prompt. So basically, I'm going to stamp number 1 in the corner. I think it's bold, it's big enough, and that's what I wanted for my October daily. I love big numbers on small layouts. I'm also going to be using this adorable collection, the Hey Pumpkin collection. I mentioned this in my setup video where I bought the American Crafts Hey Pumpkin collection, printed a bunch of the cute little icons and characters on sticker paper, and it's an easy way for me to add titles and cuteness to my spread by having these sheets ready for me. And as you can see, I just added a ghost. I added October for my title. I'm going to grab my journaling and add that as well. I did shrink down my journaling on purpose because I wanted to add something next to it, something, either a sticker or whatever, and I end up using my stamps for it to stamp a pumpkin. And you're going to see I don't stamp the pumpkin in orange, because there's so much orange on my spread. I wanted to mellow it down a little bit. So I went with brown and tan. It's kind of odd for a pumpkin color, but I still think it looks good. It filled out that space and it didn't add too much color to my spread, which I was looking for. I also grabbed this stamp and it says, if you've never carved a pumpkin, you don't know Jack, and I love it. So I end up stamping it next to my title with black ink. Again, I'm trying to calm down that orange. I'm not a big fan of orange, so you'll always see me try to bring in some black ink when I have orange on my spread, just to mellow it down a little bit. Anyways, I added a witch's hat over my number, and we're moving on to our second prompt. So prompt number 2 was, I believe, cozy drink. So I'm going to use this mug selfie, and I went with a 4x8 because my template had a 4x8 space, and so I went with a 4x8 photo. Now my template had a 3x4 box right at the top, and I thought I could use one of my older Hey Pumpkin cards. I had a lot of these horizontal cards, and I thought it would fit really well and I can use it as a title. So I start going through those cards, and I found one that said pumpkin spice on my mind. Thought it was really cute. It fit perfectly with my layout and my photo, and it tells the story. So I'm just going to go with that one. I do end up trimming it down a little bit. Just felt like there was extra space around the title and it just was uncalled for. So I just trimmed it off. And because it doesn't fit perfectly in my 3x4 space, I will end up stamping around it as well. I do also go ahead and add my journaling, which I usually do this when I print out my journaling. I usually shrink it down a little bit because I want to leave some space for stamping or stickers. So you can see there that there's this gap between the card and my journaling, but I will end up filling that out later on. So I used this spider web stamp in the corners just to fill in that space around my 3x4 card. And I'm going to start working on my 4 2x2 boxes. This is why I love these templates, is because you don't have to overthink it. Every embellishment and stamp has a place, so it's not overwhelming. Anyways, let's move on. I wanted to fill in one of my 2x2 squares with this mug stamp. It's such an adorable mug stamp, and it just fit well with my layout. But before I stamped it, I decided to back it up with some pattern paper. So I go through my older Hey Pumpkin collection, grab a very pretty subtle pattern paper, and I stamp my mug right in the center, and it looked so cute. It wasn't overwhelming. I didn't want my layouts to be, I don't know, too colorful or too busy. So just adding that subtle pattern paper worked out perfectly. And I'm basically just going to fill out that 2x2 with that pattern paper and that stamp. Anyways, once I stick that down, I'm going to grab my number stamp again, and I'm going to stamp the number 2 in one of the boxes. Again, it fills it really nicely. And I think I'm just going to use this number stamp throughout my October daily. This is a number stamp from Studio Calico, and I love the boldness of it. So I'm just going to basically use it throughout my October daily for this year. Working on my next 2x2 box, I'm going to stamp Scary Good. And I left some space right above it because I thought I could fill that space with a sticker or a chipboard or something. I go back to my Hey Pumpkin collection, grab this October banner and add it to my photo. I will also go back to that mug stamp and stamp something directly on my mug because I did feel like it was too bland and I needed something for my photo. But for now, I'm going through some of my die cut packs to find something to fill in the next 2 boxes. Like I said, I wanted to add something right above Scary Good, and I did want to add something in my last 2x2 box. I like that Happy Haunting die cut, but I found another one that was a little bit more colorful, so I go with that one instead. I will trim it down a little bit just so it can fit my 2x2 box. I'll stick that down and it fills in that space really nicely. Now I have this last 2x2 box, and I thought I wanted to change it up a little bit and add some texture. So I actually go through my puffy stickers, and I found this adorable tree and a haunted house. So I'm just going to add both of those. And to add a little bit of color, because it's in black, I'm going to go with my stamps and add a moon and stars in yellow. And it just, adds a pop of color to that 2x2 box. Okay, so this is where I decide I'm going to add something to my photo. I end up stamping pumpkin spice and everything nice directly in the center of my mug. It adds a little something to my photo, but it's not overwhelming, if that makes sense. Anyways, I'm almost done, you guys. I want to fill in that space between my journaling and card. So I go with this broom stamp, and I'm just stamping the stick with black ink and then the top portion of my broom with like a light brown, and it fit perfectly. I end up stamping 3 of them to fill in that space, and it didn't overwhelm the spread because at this point, I didn't want to add stickers. I felt like if I added a sticker, it would get too busy, too colorful. So I wanted to stamp something, but I wanted to change it up. I didn't want to use words anymore because I added so many words to the spread. And the brooms fit perfectly. It filled in the space, so I went with it, and I love how it turned out. Oh, and at some point, I do stamp that last broom. It hits the edge of my spread, and I didn't like how it went over my template. So what I decided to do is just use my correction tape and fix that, and it worked fine. Anyways, you guys, I'm going to call my layouts done. Hopefully I can share more throughout the month of October and work in my October daily with you. So keep an eye out for that, and definitely check out my Instagram. Hopefully I can share some reels as well. Anyways, you guys, I hope you enjoyed watching this video. And if you did, please give me a thumbs up. And if you are new to my channel, please consider subscribing. And I hope to see you guys very soon. Bye.